On a sweltering afternoon in Ouagadougou, where the sun baked the city streets and the air shimmered with heat, President Ibrahim Traoré sat behind his thick mahogany desk, poring over classified intelligence reports. His uniform, crisp and immaculate, bore the weight of a man who had clawed his way to power through fire and blood. A revolutionary. A soldier. A symbol of hope to millions, and a threat to many more. Outside, the sound of marching boots echoed across the palace courtyard. 200 elite guards, handpicked by Traoré himself, stood as the final shield between the president and chaos. Men forged in war. Sworn to loyalty. But in the world of power, loyalty is the first casualty. Then came the sound. A single, unmistakable crack split the heavy silence. A bullet. It punched through the thick walls of trust, through bone and muscle, through the chest of the president himself. Blood sprayed across the desk. Traoré gasped, slumping backward, the pain exploding in his chest like a grenade. His vision spun. His fingers clenched instinctively for a weapon that wasn't there. And as he blinked through the red mist clouding his eyes, he saw the impossible. A man in military fatigues stood in the doorway, gun smoking, face masked. Even more chilling was the sight beyond him, the president's own guards standing still, unmoving. Not in shock. Not in confusion. In compliance. His most trusted protector, Captain Mamadou, stood closest to him. No weapon drawn. No shout for help. No reaction, just cold, silent betrayal. They let this happen. The assassin turned and vanished down the corridor. No resistance. No pursuit. Traoré collapsed to the ground, the marble floor sticky with his blood. As darkness closed in, his mind clung to one searing question. Who gave the order? And more importantly, why did my men obey? But death would not claim him. Not yet. Buried deep within the palace, in a hidden medical wing known only to a few, a team of loyal doctors worked furiously to save his life. The official story released to the public. President Traoré is undergoing a routine security relocation. The truth? Their leader had been ambushed in his own fortress, and now, the walls were closing in. Bandaged, breathing through the pain, Traoré whispered only one name. Amadou. A seasoned intelligence officer, ruthless and incorruptible, Amadou had been at Traoré's side since the early days of the resistance. If there was anyone who could unravel the conspiracy, it was him. Together, in the shadows, they began pulling at threads. And what they found would change the course of Burkina Faso's history. The trail led to General Yimiogo, a decorated war hero, a man with medals on his chest and daggers behind his back. A longtime ally. A man Traoré once trusted like a brother. But Yimiogo was no mastermind. He was a pawn. The real puppeteers operated far beyond the palace gates. Foreign intelligence networks, spies with deep pockets and deeper motives, had wormed their way into Burkina Faso's military. Their mission: destabilize the country from within. Bribe the officers. Weaken the leadership. And install a pliable puppet who would open the nation's veins to foreign corporations. The assassination attempt wasn't the endgame. It was a test. A test of loyalty. A probe to see how many of Traoré's men could be turned, and how many would watch as he bled. So Traoré set a trap. Word leaked that the president had survived, but barely. That he was fragile, secluded, and vulnerable, waiting for the final blow. Yimiogo took the bait. In a hidden safe house on the city's outskirts, he gathered with his co-conspirators, already dividing the spoils of a government not yet fallen. They never heard the trucks pull up. Never saw the shadows slipping through the windows. Never expected Traoré's vengeance. The raid was ruthless. Bullets cut through the air like thunder. Walls exploded in fire. Within minutes, the traitors were either dead or captured. General Yimiogo, cornered and bleeding, smiled through cracked lips. "You won't stop them," he rasped, as Traoré stood over him. And with one final shot, Yimiogo was silenced. But his words lingered. Because Traoré knew this was far from over. Yimiogo had merely opened the door. Behind it was a network, foreign agents, bought-out ministers, corporate warlords, and enemies cloaked in diplomacy. They believed the president was either dead or dying. They had no idea he had risen from the grave. And in the shadows, a ghost is more dangerous than a king. Now, Ibrahim Traoré fights a different war. No longer bound by protocol or politics. He moves silently, striking from the dark. Because this time, he's not just defending a presidency. He's fighting for the soul of a nation. And he will burn the world before he lets it fall.